Sit down and pay attention. I have sacrificed my whole life for this moment now. Okay, I'm primordial being number one worldwide on the biggest study we've done for 34 years and DNA evidence. I'm the most wanted, I'm the most suppressed by the whole system. I'm number one whistleblower across the world, and there's no other human being on earth like me. There is no one that can compare with me. You need to pay attention to me above any human being on earth because I have the most authentic DNA in the world. The most powerful divine intervention recorded. Most powerful miracles. Most powerful events in human history, in modern history. All attached to me. These videos linked to this post are very critical to you right now. You need to take the time to listen to every one of these videos linked to this post. If you don't listen to these videos, then you'll never know the information that I carry that nobody else in the world is telling you. Nobody. The testimony of Dracula Reborn predicts the future and prevents what's going to happen. The most powerful book on earth that can predict the future with solid evidence. This is solid evidence. The testimony of Dracula Reborn. Believe me, I have deja vu and predict the future, and they know that. On 7 powerful documents. I'm the biggest mastermind in the world with godlike power according to their documents, with UAPs, unexplained aerial phenomena, that they cannot explain. Now that should get your attention, but 99.9% of people are under mind control. That's right, they're under mind control. They can only use 7 to 10% of their brain. I use 100%. There's a vast difference between me and the highest IQ people in the world that can only use 15%. They're idiots. They're under mind control. We exposed that in 1997. Julian Assange got locked up for exposing the documents. I went to jail for 10 years. I wrote the most powerful book on earth in 2004 that was stopped with 66 court orders. About the vaccinations coming with mRNA technology, right, for methamphetamine and drug delivery systems and food preservers under the secret covenant. You've been chewing on these things for years. And your mindset, your 24th chromosome went in dormancy in 1920. With the placebo effect anti-clockwise by the Rockefellers into the consciousness and mental event and mental process and illusion imagination mentality. Right? Now you have amnesia in all your genetic process with genetic memory since 1960. The last human being born on earth that can use their genetic memory with ancestor tools was born in 1960. Okay, your post-humans going in a transhuman stage with a zombie apocalypse worldwide, and you don't believe in it. Well, you avoid the most important things in the world constantly. When you're told the truth, you run away from it. That's how dumb you are. You can't handle the truth, you can't face it, you can't deal with it, so you avoid it. 99% of you is on voltage reliability anti-clockwise in your aura, and there's only one way out of it. You have to restore your biological genes. You have to think outside the mind, not with the mind. That's why your brain don't work. We show you that in the movie Limitless. A drug can show you how to use 100% of your brain because your mind can't fucking work it out. Your IQ behavior, your artificial intelligence, and your evolution mutation cannot work it out. And the grammar that you select with unnatural selection. 600 to 6,000 defective genes in every single one of you. And then you lie about it. You lie to yourself. And that's become hereditary genes. And that's recorded worldwide. In America, 77% of their children born with chronic diseases because everyone's in denial. Declared 2003 denial. Absolute denial. When it was exposed in 1999 that your parents are crazy and you're losing your sixth sense for the 6th time in a 6th mass extinction. Mental disorder and defects going through the roof from 2% in 1960 to 38% in 1999, and now it's 98.7% because you avoided it. The voltage in your aura, in your body cells is anti-clockwise and can only appear 3 hours a night. Your body cells are corruption and collusion during the daytime, and you die prematurely from stress-related diseases, getting younger all the time. And that's your whole civilization. Every single system in the world. Every one of you. And then you'll avoid it when your system avoids it too, because they're under mind control. As Pentagon disclosure said last year, we have an outside influence on our reality for UAPs. And most people's control, okay, when they don't realise they're a human avatar, they're a personality with mentality. DNA is RNA, which means you're a messenger. Who do you work for? If you can't master your own mind, use 100% of your brain, with mental telepathy, ESP, remote UN, telekinesis, levitation, spoon-bending, clock winding, days shabu to predict the future, prevent what's going to happen, then you're not using or controlling your own vessel to use 100% of your brain. With a vortex of information with sevenfold wisdom you see in the movie Limitless. When he gets a clarification, comes out of his shell, you can see him divide. Like the movie Matrix, right? He sticks his head through the light in the tunnel. The red pill. When you take your red pill, you wake up from amnesia and the reincarnation trap, and you control your vessel from the outside in, instead of being trapped inside, in your personality, in mentality. Who controls your vessel? Let me tell you, you got voices in mind that controls you, that you give consent to in your consciousness. A mental event, a mental process, an illusion of imagination. And your mind plays tricks and games, and you do what you're told. You become your own person, your own warden. And you don't believe in it. You're a species in denial, and you're unqualified to judge. There's only one way out of this. The crossover. And you have no comprehension what it is. I dedicated my whole life to this. Watch my history. I put my mark on earth here. You're under mind control, under the secret covenant. Graphene oxide is registered and recorded and patented as an electronic magnetic device. As Harari says from the WF, in the World Transformation Movement, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, in their revolution, we're going to take out the natural selection life and replace it with intelligent design, out of artificial intelligence. He says it's alien intelligence. He says we're going to create our own gods. Christ is over. That's what he says. We have the divine power of creation and destruction, and we're going to create our own gods and put our own clouds in. And we're going to remember COVID-19 vaccination as a time we went under the skin with surveillance. These are his words. Bill Gates in 2015 stands for the Depopulation Plan and shows you a diagram of what they're going to do with the vaccinations, right, to depopulate. He says on the diagram, we're going to use vaccinations in 2015, and he shows the brain on a diagram, right, at Davos on that video. And then he shows you how they're going to take the power from the pineal gland to the front cortex. That's what the whole problem is. So they can't use any spirituality, no more sixth sense at all. That's why all the children today are born with chronic diseases in 77%, because they've done it successfully. The plan was executed, right, in 2020. 98.7% of the population are anti-clockwise and suffer stress, fear, and anxiety, and their body sense of corruption in the daytime, and they live in denial about it in a character, right, in a personal character. They just live in a Hollywood character. American spinner sits on videos all day and talk about shit all day with their own opinions and can't deal with the truth at all. They're living in a 5 sense world. Every person on screen 8 hours a day is living in a 5 sense world. They're not attached to their natural process or natural selection life, and they haven't even got faith in their own biological genes to use their natural selection with their natural organic motors because they don't work. 24th chromosome's in dormancy, right? You have 32 senses, 27's in dormancy. Okay, dimensional thinking is in dormancy. All your supernatural powers in dormancy. 85 to 93% of your brain is in dormancy. So you have amnesia to the maximum, and you live in denial about it. Everybody lives in denial about it and do what they're told with a voice mind that tells them to do that, ultimately designed from extinction, as declared by Jeremy Gibson, 16,000 top scholars in the world, in the biggest merge in human history with natural selection. But everybody else is going for unnatural selection themselves, with voice mind that tells them to do that, with principality in the power near that controls them. They gave consent worldwide. They all give consent on a daily basis without realizing it. They're dumb, they're stupid, and they're dumb and down. They can use 10% of their brain. 1% can use 15%. A handful can mastermind use 100%. And they're the real messengers here. The rest are actors for someone else. And they don't believe in it. It's beyond the point of return of majority declared by Jeremy Givers and the top scholars in the world. We can see in their aura, they're beyond the point of return. From generation to generation. As they normalize what was small yesterday non-stop and twist the fabric to suit themselves with all new age belief systems, light, power, energy, vibrations and frequencies, consciousness and mental event and mental process and illusion, imagination, and no spirituality in these people, and they can't use their spirituality at all because they sold their soul out. And it's the biggest mind trap in human history, a soul trap. And it worked perfectly. The Rockefeller set this up perfectly. That's why Bill Gates and Fauci, on the video I just put up, right, are the most evil people in the world. And Bill Gates is number one, who started the Hive in 1984. The Hive, with methamphetamine, with two top scientists from NASA. And they moved into almost Australia with 5 international networks and sent 10 tons of amphetamine to Amsterdam and 10 tons to Florida every month for 14 years straight. After Hitler brought out a happy pill, and 85% of the population was on that happy pill, and it was deemed that pseudoephedrine would be dangerous in 1978. Then they moved two top scientists into almost Australia in 1980 with 5 international networks, okay, when they deemed pseudoephedrine dangerous, and 85% of the population was on a happy pill. And they don't believe in it. How the fuck would they know? They're idiots. They're under mind control for 100 years. 100 years. We exposed that in 97 and worldwide in 99. And that's why they made the movie, the documentary Matrix. Those are thinking Stephen would tune out a program. Well, no one can do that because they can't respond 7 times faster than they can think and control their business from the outside in because they're controlled by the inside in a personality mentality, and they think they know everything about life with their ego and self-centered behavior because they're living in a 5 sense world. They have no power. They have no feelings. That's why they can't keep a relation together in real life. There's no codependent feelings. They lost their abilities to use codependent feelings, which is the quantum mechanic of a relationship, which they call righteousness. You want divine power to command nature, you got to make sure your principality is in the right place. And you got the right power that controls your vessel. I'm the last human being born on earth that can do what Christ can and more. And 99% of people don't believe in it because they're jealous, spiteful cowards. I was developed for this moment to save humanity with the crossover and protect the elect. When I breathe, the program is won a Nobel Prize to recreate the sacred region you conduct with a METH effect, to be alert, alive, awake and aware in a primal state, and to use Jacob's ladder, the tree of life, the Neuralink, and you gut feelings above the chakra that creates human mentality, and 130 nucleoside molecules with genetic repair kit. When you're righteous, not when you're wrong and unnatural. I'm bleeding every day. Every day I've been coughing up blood because I've got stage 4 cancer and throat cancer. And I've been vomiting blood non-stop for 2 months. So I'm near death. Okay, I'm having a very hard time at the moment. I sacrifice myself and my life for every one of you. And I'll die for you. And I will. Because I'm full on. And I'll sacrifice everything in my life for you. And right now I'm dying from cancer and bleeding every day. And I don't give up. I don't care about myself. I sacrifice everything I can for you to save your soul. But it's nearly impossible because of your mind, your self-centered behavior, and the voice of the mind that tells you to do that. It's not funny being me and the only one of a kind. Being stomped on every day by 99.9%. Pastors, preachers, Christians, New Age, all spit on me. Think they know better, these fucking idiots. Under mind control, living in their own truth, manifesting their own truth, sitting in front of a screen all day, thinking they're human when they're not human. There's nothing human about them. They're just actors. Hollywood spinners, American dreamers. There isn't one mastermind in American DNA because it's the most evil society in the world. You listen to Robert Kennedy in the first video, just 5 minutes. I just put on both my timelines. You listen about Fauci and Gates and you go into my book. You go into my fucking book and you go into my history. And you fucking wake up from amnesia and the reincarnation trap because you're trapped. It means you don't know what you're doing. And until you wake up from amnesia, you'll never fucking know. You'll never fucking know if you don't wake up from amnesia and the reincarnation trap. If you don't fucking wake up, to your primordial being and control your vessel from the outside in, then you will go in the abyss in the sixth mass extinction strip in the sixth sense for the sixth time. And trust me, I'm trying to save your soul from your own personality and your own ridiculous mentality that you're trapped into. You're too afraid to cross over because of the moral guilt and shame that you carry, and you don't even know. You don't even fucking know what you're carrying. You don't even know the bloodline you're following. You do what you're fucking told. When you got your back up against the wall and need money, you do what you're fucking told. Mind control worldwide for 100 years, right, in artificial intelligence and implementation by atheism, anti-clockwise. And you all talk like fucking atheists, anti-clockwise, and you all think you're great gods, like an atheist does. He always thinks he's great gods to mankind. Well, every Westerners think the same way, because they live by the law of Gandhi. Me, myself, and I, all about me, all about me, all about me. Me, myself, and I. Trapped inside your vessel, trapped in a personality, trapped in mentality, and no codependent universal power. No relationship. All about yourself. You don't have the quantum mechanic of a relationship with a universal power, with divine power to command nature. I do. And I teach it with success and the solution to go in a new timeline where time stands still like preserves for 1,000 years and you don't suffer anymore. No more suffering. So sit there and make a name for yourself while you're suffering, while your body cells go corruption, collusion during the daytime, and you suffer from stress, fear, anxiety, confusion, frustration, delusion, and paranoia, and live in a comfort zone, and you don't know what you're fucking doing because the mind can't work it out. You can see that with a drug in the movie Limitless. With a drug, I can take you right out of your shell and show you the real truth. Or a 40-day fast, like Christ did, and a crossover. With a 3.5-year transformation with genetic memory and a genetic process with your ancestor tools coding your own DNA. So you can do everything Christ can and more with all those abilities that you're designed with. Spirituality, not fucking mentality. You're trapped in psychological mentality with an IQ that only makes you good at what you do. In your consciousness, which is a mental event, a mental process, an illusion of imagination in your front fucking cortex. It's got nothing to do with your second secretion, your third eye, to see outside. Outside the mind, over and above and beyond the mind, with deja vu to predict the future, and remote viewing. Outside the mind, with dimensional thinking, with multiple perception, the picture that tells you 1,000 words that cannot lie to you. The light bulb idea. The orbs of light, the light bulb idea, the portal. You go into in another dimension, into the future and into the past with dimensional thinking. The light bulb idea, the picture that tells you 1,000 words that cannot lie to you. You see it in the movie Limitless with a vortex of information with certain power, wisdom, and knowledge. You cannot use it. I'm the most powerful mastermind by the biggest think tank in the world that can. When they put direction microphones on me, I could feel them put pen to paper in the courtroom and prevent what's going to happen. I stamped in in such a way the X-ray machine 7 years later could not detect it. I'm on mastermind reports on the front page papers King buys in 1992 on the Brisbane Courier Mail. I'm on 17 current affairs shows, a mastermind loopholes to laws and a mastermind manipulation, and could unravel the whole system that you're designed into. Unravel the whole system. Became the most wanted by the biggest think tank in the world, the Star Chamber Inquiry, in one of the most corrupt cases in human history in 1999. #1 cab up the rank with godlike power and 105 people like me in the underground world. They're masterminds of the world. The most powerful mastermind with godlike power in the Trident, in the Gatekeeper Report, and I'm #1 in the Star Chamber Inquiry, 1999. #1 most wanted, #1 most wanted for everything. And they targeted me with the voice of God, weapon used, mind control weapons, the whole lot. Okay, they tried to kill me. They tried to set me up for 3 murders. My cases in Australia by Chief Justice Jersey are the most corrupt cases in every university. By Chief Justice Jersey, the biggest judge on the Parliamentary Crime Misconduct Bench. My case is the most corrupt case in Australian history. They owe me $38 million. They put my wife and kids on witness protection against their will, and it got unearthed. They set me up for corruption, and tried to take money off everybody they gave money to when I gave $72 million away, and I was the only one telling the truth and they lied. Okay? And it became the most corrupt case in Australian history. My arresting officer commends me when I go to jail for making the most authentic drug in the world that took down the highest deaths of American killing bonds and misfires in 30 years, that caused the Royal Commission paying out for 23 years, the stolen victim raising poverty, right, being paid out $250 billion a day by worldbank.org because they're responsible under mind control. That's why they're paying, right? So when you look what Robert Kennedy says, these disrupted people have upset all the indigenous people. They bombed all their parents, right, with all their nuclear bombs or atom bombs that took off Hitler all over Australia. Killed thousands of them with the double Y, double X chromosome. They could resurrect and do everything that Christ can and more. Killed a lot and suppressed this. Stole the kids and killed them with a pineal gland like they've done with every other person in the world. Because Westerners are naked drunks. Noah and his family and Nimrod, right, they created nations with confusion and frustration, took away your universal language, created religious political cults, and nations with confusion and frustration, and self-centered ego with New Age, evolution, mutation, artificial intelligence, because that's who they are, naked fucking drunks. The Bible tells you Noah and his family and Nimrod, the milestone, were naked fucking drunks who took away your universal language. The Bible tells you that. And I can tell you right now, Bill Gates was a mastermind at 24, couldn't read and write, like me. Could not read and write like Bruce Lee, who can master his mind by 24 and fight 12 black karate blindfolded. Like me, with his sixth sense. Bill Gates could not read and write, became the most powerful man at 24 years old in 1980. Set up the whole plan from the Rockefellers because they're fallen angels. And when you understand methamphetamine from the plant called Mayhung red manna that we developed, it's on the Sumerian tablets. It's all about Hitler's plan that Harari says, with mind control, with an alien invasion, an alien intelligence, an outside influence from dimensional beings that controls the whole world they give consent to. You mean the boogeyman, the monster under the bed? Yep. Okay, your parents says it's just a dream, go back to sleep, because they go to school to be mentally institutionalized and do what they're fucking told, so they can't master their mind, use their sixth sense. So they're mentally institutionalized when they go to school and come out like fucking robots and tell your parents they're dinosaurs and then lie to their kids so innocent who can feel the outside influence with the UAP, the boogeyman, the monster in the bed. And when a stranger comes to the door, by the time you're 24, you fucking lowlife, the cunts that fucking develop you like teachers, pastors and preachers that rape your kids in the Royal Commission are the ones that deceive you the most. And then you have them at your front door that can deceive you in 10 seconds flat. And your child runs to the corner because they can feel the truth. Like the boogeyman you lie about. They can feel the boogeyman controls you and them. And you lie, you filthy lowlife. You lie to yourself. Well, when a good person comes to the door with fire coming out of his mouth, in raggedy clothes, a child and a dog with their sixth sense run takes towards me in a heartbeat with rhythm, and you freak out, you fucking lowlife. You fucking freak out and do what you're told. Right? You can't master your mind like Bruce Lee. You can master your mind by 24 and fight 12 be back karate with deja vu and predict what's going to happen and prevent what's going to happen and block every punch. So stop living in your fucking nightmares and your dreams and your wet dreams, because you're all liars. You're all artificial human beings. When you can't use a natural process like Christ can, developed in your own DNA with your own genetic process, and you can't master your own mind with deja vu to do what Bruce Lee can and what I can do, then you're a fucking robot, just like you all are. And, you know, Bill Gates at 20 years old, 24 years old, he was a mastermind that couldn't read and write, took over the whole world in 24 hours. The richest man in the world at 24. Right? And you turn a fucking blind eye to these cocksuckers all over the world that doesn't have amnesia and not trapped in the reincarnation trap, because I know who they are. You fucking don't. I knew in 1980 and been exposing it ever since. You fucking lowlife. You never listen to me, you dog. Because you're all fucking post-transhumans and godless moral creatures and do what you're told. Every fucking one of you do what you're told. Well, I can tell you now, you listen to my videos, everything's been done and executed by 220, and the vaccination was the last part of the plan, okay? Everybody else took the same particle in methamphetamine, drug delusions, and food preservatives, and shoved it down their fucking throat. America uses 1.5 ton of meth every day. Tony Abbott, the Prime Minister, stated in 2016 exposed worldwide in the government's authorities, defence forces, the governments in Australia are all on meth, 80%. Then he got pulled down immigration issue because he listened to me. So did the Chief Justice Jersey. Then Peter Dutton is ordered to step down by Chief Justice of Justice for corruption, the two most corrupt cases in Australian history. Then he gets promoted to the Minister of Immigration and pulls everybody down and unlawfully deports me. Now he sits at Home Affairs and decriminalise the drug in Australia. And they're doing that all over USA because it's mind control. Hitler created that drug under mind control, a happy pill that was very productive. And now the whole world's on MDMA tablets, MDMA, right, which is also meth. They're on fentanyl, which is meth with opiates. Meth all over the world. ADHD medication is meth, gone up 36 times since 1994. Drug delivery system, the same particle, registered as electronic medical device on every patent, is in all your food preservatives, drug delivery systems, under the secret covenant and in every registration. In all your drug delivery system, it's graphene oxide drug delivery system, in every one of your fucking drugs. Go look. All your mental disorder tablets and all ADHD medication, ADHD medication has a barcode uppers and downers. Speed is uppers and downers. So if you take any of these drugs, I can control your serotonin with your pH level, which is your barcode system. And when I can control that with electronic medical device, right, it's the mentality you're in that gives you the electronic device. It's not what you think. It's your mindset that's in 5 cents and negative fields, 95 to 99% of the time. When you live in consciousness, a mental process, and illusion, imagination, then you're attached to negative fields, and that's your conductor to the outside influence on your negativity that controls your biofields and every personality in your mind that it activates. So all the voice in mind is personalities that activates. It tells you do it, and don't do it when you think critically. Because it's 5 cents and negative fields in your consciousness, a mental process, and illusion, imagination. And the consciousness is unaware of the outside influence that controls your reality. That's why you got to think outside the mind instinctively. They tell you in the movie documentary, The Matrix. They tell you that in the Top Gun movie with Maverick, right, with the young fella, where Tom Cruise says, yeah, I didn't put you on and I didn't fucking give you anything because you didn't think instinctively. You were thinking mentally. You were thinking mentally with the mind. You weren't thinking instinctively. Just like the Matrix. Just like Winoff says. Just like Jim McGifford says. Just like I say. You cannot think instinctively with your natural process and your natural cognitive motor skills. You cannot. So when you can't do that, you're oppressed. And you give an outside influence the authority and consent to control your reality. And you don't believe in it. You have amnesia. How the fuck would you know? 98.7% of the world, voltage reliability in the aura is anti-clockwise. Only 1.3% is clockwise. And that's where the truth is. DNA, the book of life. And we can prove with a drug that you got no idea what you're doing. Come to me and I'll fucking show you, you moron. I'll fucking show you how dumb you really are with a drug. I'll prove it to you. Since I developed the most powerful enlightenment drug in the world, most powerful love drug, that took down the highest death time, killing and violence and misviolence in 30 years, and stopped kids getting taken off their parents, going home to get raped and bashed, and becomes prisoners and prostitutes later. The course of Royal Commission paying out for 23 years. And the stolen back generation of poverty with what they've done to their parents. Because the world's fucking evil, man. And America's the most evil people in the world. The most delusional. The ones with all the conspiracy theories. The liars and the manipulators. Is Americans, the self-centered ego society that lives by the law of Jenny, all about me, myself, and I, and their opinions. And all their books are inverted, declared worldwide. Every single thing that comes out of their mouth is propaganda and a placebo effect anti-clockwise. Every person on social media platform lives in a delusional state in a comfort zone. Whether they believe it or not, they live in a 5 cents world. They're trapped with principality in the power in the air, with addictions, possessions, and obsessed with themselves and their own opinions. Obsession with themselves and their own opinions, with voices inside their mind, ultimately designed for distinction that will tell them whatever they want to hear in their own comfort zone. And they're completely oblivious and a species in denial. You better fucking wake up from amnesia or you'll never get out of here. Getting through people's thick skull is impossible. As Jeremy Gibbs says, 95% are beyond the point of return. They've given consent to the outside influence that controls their reality, and they're not in a primal state, and they won't cross over. So they'll never be free. They'll never be liberated, and they'll never go in a new timeline of sevenfold wisdom and a new era. They'll never cross over. They'll go in a sixth mass extinction, stripping the sixth sense for the sixth time, because they can't use it. They can't see the picture of the Tasma 1,000-word dimensional thinking, so they can't use it. They can only use their mind to justify everything, and they want to understand everything with grammar, which they can't. They cannot possibly understand with the mind. Christ told you that the mind does not understand. It's outside the mind. It's over and above and beyond. Take the red pill, you can't go back because you wake up from amnesia and the reincarnation trap. Plato, the greatest philosopher of all time, wrote 15 books about this. Sticking your head out the cave, as Jeremy Gibbs explains. Go through the ladder, Jacob's ladder, to the light at the end of the tunnel and stick your head out the cave. You do that when you die. And when you haven't died, you don't know. So we take you into a death experience for a 40-day fast and for a transformation where you don't die, but your personality does, and you see it for the first time yourself, that you're possessed by your own personality and your own mentality without realizing it. That's why your mind plays 60 games in you, and you are your own worst enemy in here, in the skull. And that's why you are your own prisoner, your own warden in here. You are your own prisoner and your own warden in here. Do it, don't do it. That's your prisoner and that's your warden. 5 reasons why you shouldn't, 5 reasons why you should. But you'll do as you're fucking told, because it's only personality, and you keep thinking with your own personality, with consciousness, and say it worldwide. Consciousness is only a mental event, a mental process, an illusion, imagination, set up by the Rockefellers in 1640 into the conscious singularity by WF, and you're trapped in artificial intelligence with evolution mutation, with AI, alien intelligence. And you gave consent. The natural selection by 16,000 top scholars and Nobel Prize winners in the biggest merger in human history is We're Not Breathing program, who's won a Nobel Prize to recreate the sacred secretion with natural selection. And the book Freedom by Jeremy Gibbs, the most powerful book on earth, to take you forever above it all. The Holy Grail of life, declared worldwide. But everybody else in the world is following the World Wide Web with WF, with unnatural selection, and sitting on a screen all day without even realizing it. Without realizing it. The voltage reliability in your aura, in your body cells, is anti-clockwise and only works 1 to 5%, okay? And only repairs 3 hours a night. Your body cells are corruption, collusion. If beta bacteria collapse in every human being on earth, between 50 and 100%, that's your immune system, because your body cells work against each other. That's why blood clots, myocarditis, and cancer, and mental disorders and defects went from 2% in 1960 with gene defects all the way to 98.7% in the world today in 60 years. So they executed that plan as the Rockefellers put on the faith document in 1920. The faith document to invert your placebo effect and to be executed by 220. And that's when the zombie apocalypse comes across the planet and people did what they were told. Mind control. And most people are so oblivious to this because they only live in the now moment in their own truth, right? You were declared post-humans in 1999 and that you're crazy and that you're under possession back then with 15,000 top documents when we hacked the hub and exposed we're dealing with someone that got locked up, and I got locked up for 10 years for corruption. My arresting officer commends me with 40 other cops, okay, and says I'm set up for corruption. I've done nothing but being set up for corruption and sacrificed everything in my life, my family, my loved ones, my children, my grandchildren. Everything I've sacrificed. Corruption for 10 years. Lost my family. Broke their hearts. In and out of prison with corruption, trying to set me up for murder. Try to kill me. Imagine what my parents are going through and my family, my kids. Then I get unlawfully deported. And they threaten 3 lots of lawyers. So I can't get to court. Imagine what my kids are going through. You have no idea what my family's going through. But their hearts are broken because I keep hurting them. And they love me that much that it hurts them that much. You have no idea what I'm carrying here. The sacrifice I'm going through with my own family, my own kids. You know, I love my kids to death. They are my life. And what I've gone through with 10 years jail, in and out of jail, detention center and then unlawfully deported. Do you know what I've gone through with my kids? Do you know what my kids are going through? Mate, social media platform cannot keep a relationship together. Destroys them. No social media platform or screens or texting like a troll will keep that relationship together. If anything, it does even more damage. And they just don't want to go on the screens and don't want to talk to you because it's not real. They block you for a month or two, come back again all the time. That's how hurt they are. My son just contacted me yesterday and blocked me for the last 6 months. I've gone through this my whole fucking life. And when I know how much my kids still love me and how much they're going through to this very day after 20 years abuse, and I'm unlawfully deported, and they owe me $38 million for the abuse, and what they're doing to my family, and the suffering that they constantly go through with the authorities. Task forces hitting my mum's place several times, hitting my brother's place, hitting friends. Big, massive task force smashing my family and friends constantly because of me. Always asking questions about things. I'm number one most wanted, unlawfully deported. I sat down for 6 hours with the biggest think tank in the world and the biggest pollers. Believe me, when I wrote my book in 2004 and they stopped it, they've got to be a copy. They know everything about me and every study done. I'm the most compromising situation they've ever dealt with. The most powerful mastermind they've ever dealt with. And you know what? If you understood what I've been going through and my family's been put through, you might have a bit more compassion, a bit more understanding, but you got no fucking idea at all. What I sacrifice and what I've been forced into to sacrifice my family and kids and what we endure every fucking day, sitting here under Interpol in Denmark, unlawfully. You think one person would help me when everything's unlawful? Do you think any Australian freedom fighter would do something to help me? They're fucking hopeless under mind control. When I've done what I've done, and you look at my fucking history and what we've done on earth, then you listen to every freedom fighter on social media platform and look at what they do. Nothing. All talk, no action. I got thousands of freedom fighters here, thousands of people from Australia, and I'd get to court like that and get back in home like that. Do you think one fucking dog, when I gave away $72 million, 90% of my money, when I brought down the highest dead time air king and miners, and caused the Royal Commission paying over 23 years, the stolen back generation being paid out $250 million today, the biggest metal out research and DNA ever done to find the truth, my DNA is a book of life. So I bring the cure of the human condition money for the first time in human history, right, with all these documents and the most powerful documents on earth. Do you think I get credit for anything? Everyone's a fucking liar and a creative thief and a lowlife. I get credit for nothing. Not by one fucking person anywhere. No one gives a fuck. Nobody fucking cares what I've done. Not one human being has ever cared about what I've done. Couldn't give a fuck. Pretend they love me. Really? Words is all talk, no action. No one can back it up with any action. Not one fucking freedom fighter in Australia would do nothing about this because they can't, because they're hopeless under mind control and they do not know what they're doing. That's how dumb they all are. We are in the underground world, the biggest masterminds in the world that set the standards and went against the Babylonian beast system. And now you see every freedom fighter on social media platform all talk with grammar and couldn't fucking do nothing and get out of their chair and perform anything. Mate, they're under the biggest mind control I've ever seen. Everybody on social media platform is all fucking talk, no action in real life. They couldn't do fucking nothing, man. We moved the Extinction Rebellion that shut down 4,500 locations on the 27th of September 2019. 4,500 locations in 150 countries. The world's biggest army the world has ever seen. 335 million in the Extinction Rebellion. And you fucking avoided it. The Bible said, I will come with the world's biggest army and shut the fucking world down. And you didn't give a fuck. 335 million people. That's over 250 million. The world's biggest army the world's ever seen. On the 27th September 2019, go Google this. 4,500 locations in 150 countries and capital cities, including New York, Times Square, and the biggest capital cities in the world. Shut the fuck down. We stopped the world. Then the devil took over in the zombie apocalypse. And you all went on screens and became the liars and the credit thieves and the content thieves that live in your own truth on social media platform. But you were not one of us. You're the scum of the world and the liars and the deceivers and the self-centered creatures that don't care about yourself. But you were never, ever imposed or went against the sixth mass extinction strip in the sixth sense for the sixth time, book Revelation 27. You never went against this. When you were told in 99, you laughed and became the species in 2003 and banged into screens to make a name for yourself while we did all the work. You fucking low-life reptilians. You fucking liars all over the world. Your self-proclaimed nutcases on media. Your self-proclaimed prophets. Your truth is all full of shit. All full of shit under mind control. Just to make a name for themselves with their own opinions. And what are they doing? Distracting you from the truth. Distracting you from the truth. And you'd rather mentally resonate with the same fucking idiots with your own consciousness because that's all you fucking got. You sold your soul out. You got no fucking guts and no balls to stand up at all. You're just all talk and a gutless piss weak coward. Godly small creatures all over the earth like the days of Noah, like the days of Lot. And it was all designed by Nimrod from the Sumerian tablets, right, with Harari and Hitler's plan, with Bill Gates and Fauci, and American CIA and American militaries are the lowest fucking form of life in the world, and so is every American with boldest reliability anti-clockwise because they're the Antichrist, and the legions are many. Believe me, they're fucking far more, and they act like human beings, and they're good actors with a good mouthpiece, but they can't think instinctively outside the mind with remote viewing, deja vu to predict the future, and dimensional thinking, because they're not in spirituality, they're only in mentality. And believe me, they're that easy to pick, it's not funny. You can feel the truth in a heartbeat with the universal codependent relationship. You know what grammar and barcode this system they're in? If they're in the attuned to codependent power, righteousness, and using the right grammar. Fucking easy to pick, mate. It's not about swearing. It's about being wild and being yourself, being down to earth and honest, and creating a reputation by word of mouth like I've done my whole fucking life. Not in your fucking strategy, sitting on a screen all day with fake friends and fake tools and fake love. That's all you fucking got, you fucking robots, you fucking zombies, and you try to steal credit from us, you dogs. You suppress us the most. We've been putting up with your shit our whole life. The elect. You oppress us the most. Every one of you couldn't care less. Otherwise you'd support us. I'm the last Christ. I'm the witness that comes with the resurrection to protect the elect. I'm the only one. I'm son of Christ, son of David, son of Abraham. And you couldn't give a fuck. You couldn't feel the truth and you couldn't care less. And God knows that. Well, the devil got the whole fucking lot of you. Nimrod's plan, Hitler's plan, Harari's plan. And, you know, the Rockefeller set up for 300 years with the secret covenant, with everything you consume and everything you've gone into your mental mind, into your mentality. And you do what you're fucking told. And, you know, the fate document in 1920 was to be executed by 220, and they fucking did it perfectly. And we warned you in 97, and you didn't care in 99 when we told you. You went and species in denial declared in 2003 and think you know. You're avoiding every single thing about mind control every day and don't believe it with amnesia. And you do not know what you do because you're living in a delusional comfort zone. In illusion and imagination. And you were warned in the Bible. And we have DNA evidence and mental health research to prove that 99% of mental disorders and stress-related disease die prematurely. In their body cells corrupt solution during the daytime and can only appear at 3 hours a night. And they're trapped in the 23rd seed, the chromosome. The 23rd chromosome, the reptilian mentality. They can't use the 24th chromosome. You can see it in dormancy. In Sally's data research, they can't use supernatural power. So they didn't follow the right footsteps no matter what comes out of their mouth. They followed the Baal system, the Babylonian beast, with the law of Gandhi. All about me, myself, and I. All about me, all about me, all about me. Your opinions, and your obsession with yourself. Possessed beyond the point of return in majority. That's not a fucking joke. We can no longer change mankind from the way he thinks, unnaturally, and unnatural selection, declared worldwide. Defected genes, defected human beings all over the world. Defected in their mind. No spirituality, and their biofields are collapsed. 85% of the brains collapsed. 24 chromosomes collapsed. And all their godlike power with supernatural power collapsed. They did not follow Christ's footsteps, or any of those tools to be innocent and to be selfless. I fucking did. I sacrificed everything in my life, and I don't give a fuck about what you say. I don't give a fuck about your religious political cults and your controlling, human conditioning and your controlling behavior and your fucking low-life narrative. I don't give a fuck what you say, because I'll sacrifice myself for every child out there, and I don't give a fuck. Unlike you fucking lowlife, with your conditioning and your religious political cults and your bullshit and all your fucking lies. Go on, see how that works for you, because I know it doesn't. We cure the human condition you suffer from by crossing over, and that's the only way you're going to get out of here. We're coming in a new timeline with sevenfold wisdom knowledge to live with the tree of life, with natural selection and natural order. So if you don't go back to your natural order, natural selection, with your genetic memory and your genetic process with your ancient tools, then you haven't got a fucking hope in hell, because your mind is your worst fucking enemy. Yourself. And if you can't wake up from that, you're fucked. Believe me, I'm trying to save every soul I can from the ridiculous inverted reptilian mentality that you're trapped into in a personality that doesn't exist. It's an illusion and an imagination, and it's the greatest delusion ever created in human history. That's got everybody by the balls without realizing it, because they live in denial. Well, they'll never know until they cross over and do the right thing with the book Freedom by Jim McGivers, the Holy Grail of Life, and we're not breathing to recreate the sacred season with natural selection. Until they use their natural organic molecules and their biofields in their DNA, naturally and organically, they'll never know, because the mind is a problem. It prevents you. This is your worst enemy, your skull. And that's what they got everyone in the skull. So they can't use the sacred secretion, they can't use the third eye, because Westerners are naked drunks, blind as a bat and numb, no feelings, and that's why they can't keep real relations together. There's no care factor in these species, there's no love in these species, and there's no soulmate relationship, there's no pillars of soul, there's no conductor, there's no sacred secretion, and they can't use their sixth sense, and that's their spirituality. They're trapped in their mentality. The whole world's under mind control right now. And there's only one way out of this. You want to get out of here? You practice what I preach, or you haven't got a hope in hell.